Welcome to the Nature Photo Guys podcast,
where we talk about nature photography, from gear to our philosophies and everything in between.
So grab a cup of coffee, sit back and relax.
You're listening to Joe Desjardins
and Chris Gibbs, the Nature Photo Guys.
So Chris, can you tell me what the temperature was today with wind chill?
Well, this morning, I know it was minus 48 with the wind chill.
Yeah.
It was damn cold this morning.
And
it's still cold
what
out.
Is it? January 11th, 2024.
Yes. As we're recording this, it is freezing cold.
Exactly. And I was actually, I headed into town this morning and it was, the radio said minus 45. I heard minus 48. I hear tonight it could reach as low as minus 50 with the wind chill.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, absolutely insane out there, guys. So it brings us to our topic today about, keeping your gear well protected against the cold and snow, and a few tips on exposure. I guess we could say when shooting in the cold, white, snowy type of environment. So let's just get right to it.
Okay,
Sound good?
Deal. Yep.
Okay.
It was perfect timing because of the weather. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So everybody knows I'm a big advocate for lens hoods. And the main reason is to protect the front element from damage if you drop the camera.
Right.
Now, another bonus to these lens hoods, other than, getting lens flare across the front element, from the sun or whatever other light source, it's great to keep the front element dry. Clear of snow,
true.
Clear of, melting wet snow, that sort of thing, right? So, again, I would always suggest having a lens hood on all year round, but big benefit for winter shooting.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Especially when it's snowing quite a bit. I mean, you and I have photographed wildlife in a blizzard and, and those lens hoods actually do come in handy. So.
Yeah, you bet. And well, actually, that segues right into the next tip is a cleaning kit. Keeping on hand a blower, that will help clean the front of the element if something does come in contact. Especially when it's really, really cold. The snow may not melt on the lens, but it could start accumulating, and the blower will just help get that off. And with the cleaning kit, if the blower doesn't work, I have one of those pens, cleaning pens that have
me too,
the brush
lens pen or something.
Yeah, lens pen, exactly. That folds in and out. So something like that just to brush the snow off. And if you're shooting in, where the snow is a little on the wet side and it's actually hitting the front element, microcloth, lens cleaning cloth. They're the best. I mean, I've got them in my camera bags. I've got them actually on me all the time for my glasses.
Okay.
So I'm a big advocate for them. And the other thing too, guys, is you don't use them for a while and then throw them out. Like I've got some of these microfiber cloths that are years that I've been using them for years, and I basically just wash them. Wash them, dry them, and they're good to go again, right? So
I found a bag of them. I think I probably have 10 in there. Like I just keep them,
exactly. I mean, it's, I think that, they're great. I mean, none of my eyeglasses, sunglasses, and camera gear have ever seen a paper towel or a Kleenex or a t-shirt.
Right. Your jeans.
Ever. Oh God. I mean, I've seen some people just like, take them off, let's scrub that lens clean. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying, So,
and then also, I think the one thing about that is you try to make a habit of actually looking at your lens and cleaning it, because one time you're going to end up shooting something. There was going to be something there. You may not notice it and you're going to be kicking yourself later. So I've really made a habit of just checking anyway, just in case, and making sure it's clean.
Yeah, for sure. And, good point. For landscape shooters, when you're shooting a 16, 22, that kind of stuff too, right? That kind of thing may show up, but when you're shooting primarily wildlife, I mean,
it's
at F4, that kind of stuff, you're never going to see it. And a lot of times you don't even see sensor dust when you're shooting wide open like that, right?
Yeah.
So,
and the one good thing is you can correct that, most of the time with the spot healing brush or whatever in Photoshop. If you're shooting video, not necessarily, right?
No, you're
so
done.
just you're done. So just make sure you're checking your lens for sure.
So how many hours of editing, Chris, is that for a 15-second video?
Oh goodness. Well, if you can imagine, if I'm shooting 24 frames per second, there's 24 frames of basically 24 photos for every second of video.
Yeah. So a 10-minute video is 240 images that oh God. Yeah. It's never going to happen. It's going to be reshot or
exactly. Yeah.
Totally removed from the process. Right. So
yeah, absolutely. So so check your lenses for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, talking about photo gear, batteries. I mean, it's it's one of those things that you have to keep warm. Bring extras, and you have to keep warm. And what I mean by keeping warm, I don't mean in the camera bag. I mean inside your jacket, close to the body. So it makes no sense to put them in outside pockets. Because they're it's too close to the cold, right? Unless you do have an outside pocket and you have one of the hand warmers, the chemical hand warmers, like what are they called? The hot shots or whatever it is.
Yep. Exactly.
And put those into the pocket with the batteries, right?
Right.
I mean, it's great to have. Actually, the hand warmers are twofold because they warm your hands, right? And they keep the batteries warm. You can kind of stuff them in your jacket closer to your skin too, to kind of, I would say keep you really all that warm, but it's kind of a comfort thing too, right?
Well,
you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and even not even only like in photography, like even like if you have a GoPro, the small batteries they don't retain. I mean, you and I have actually run into that together. Actually, I remember we were hiking a couple of years back and we were doing some GoPro video, and a battery that should last an hour, we'd pull it out of our pocket and put it in there, and geez, it was like 15 minutes, if that, and it was toast, right? So I always try to keep them warm.
Well, and mirrorless cameras. Didn't have the best reputation in the beginning either for battery life, and they've drastically improved. Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, now I can shoot my R5 with a grip, which holds 2 batteries sometimes all day on a set of batteries, depending on what I'm doing. Right. Yeah. Photos, absolutely. So, bring spares, and keep them warm. Now, the other thing too, is if that battery dies in your camera, take it out, put the fresh one in, put that camera or that battery inside your jacket in that same pocket, and you'd be amazed at how many more frames you can get again once the battery warms up. So the battery isn't absolutely dead. It just needs to be warmed up again. Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly that happens for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So just, another tip, I guess, as far as battery usage. I personally, when I'm in the field in my backpack, I carry 6 batteries. So I've got, 6. So I carry 1 in the R6, and I got 2 in the 5D, and then I got an extra set there with me at all times anyways. So
sure. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just worried about, that decisive moment happening,
Wow. Yeah, you don't want to come across that wolf pack, right? And you don't have any batteries.
Chasing that grizzly bear up the tree while the cougar jumps on its back. Yeah, one of those scenarios, right? So
exactly.
While Bigfoot watches off to the right. So one of those.
No kidding. And I do the same thing. I carry a bunch of batteries in the video side. I carry V-mount batteries, which are bigger packs as well. So you just got to be prepared for those moments.
Yeah.
That you don't want to miss,
so that's primarily though for your Atomos.
No, the V-mount batteries are specifically for the R5C. The R5C, when shooting video, the Canon batteries don't last very long. There has been some firmware upgrades, but still the batteries don't last as long. So I carry 2 V-mount batteries. One is it's basically 3 Canon batteries of power, and the other one's 6 Canon batteries of power. So, I can hook that, I can attach that, power that, and I still have a battery in the camera. So once I get through that pack, then the battery in the camera is still there as well.
So that's it mounts at the back of your camera, right?
Yeah,
is that the one where you can release the lever and drop the battery down? and then
right. Yeah. I have it set up on my rig like that. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
right.
And
That's
I
right.
use it for my gimbal as well. Like with the
for
Romans.
sure.
So yeah, they definitely come in handy. But in this case, you're right. I can't really stuff those into my pocket.
Yeah,
They're a little
yeah.
thick. So
Yeah,
I
but they give you,
still always have the Canon batteries ready to go.
and you know, I would assume with something like that too, you could take a piece of gaffer tape and actually attach a hand warmer to it.
Sure.
I mean, the
for
battery's
sure.
big enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
Or a
yeah.
couple elastic bands or
exactly.
something like that, just to keep them. Yeah,
Tie
for
wraps.
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah,
for
exactly. Zip ties. Yeah. So, um, so another tip, guys, tripods. You know, I'm a big advocate of using tripods. Well, obviously with landscape photography, sometimes I cheat with wildlife photography, too lazy, too whatever. But in the cold, if you have an older style aluminum tripod, it's deadly cold if you don't have any type of warmer for the legs. Same with carbon fiber. So protect those legs, the parts of the tripod where you're going to handle in the winter. Trust me, guys. Not only is it great for when you put it, you know, you're carrying the lens or whatever it is on your shoulder with the tripod, but keeping them hands warm, you got to get something to do that. Now,
oh, for sure.
Speaking of that tip, I just what I had before on my tripod was basically a cover that they were designed for tree stands, and some of the tree stands that have the armrest, right? And these were like they were zippered, and then you could put the foam over and then just zip it up and it kind of protected. But over time, the zippers kind of broke and stuff, and I've wrapped them with tape and everything. Sure. But guess what I just got?
What? I'm curious now.
Hang on, let me grab it. Let me grab.
Okay.
I wasn't going to show this, but hey, shout out to the lens coat. I got the set of 3.
No way.
Yeah, the leg.
I'll actually have to get those.
It's gonna be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because remember I had the zipper ones as well, and actually the tripod that I have, they wouldn't fit around some of the carbon fiber thickness of the poles, so I couldn't actually get them around. So I think those would come in handy.
So actually, if we look at this right now, so basically, you know, this is going way off topic. I was going to do a video on this because my Gitzo, I have to repair it, and I was going to just kind of do it all the same. But it's basically Velcro for the covers, right? Which is nice because you're not dealing with those zippers. And then you got basically the plumber, you know, the pipe foam, right?
For sure.
Plumbers are, you know, that just insulate the pipe. So actually, it's actually attached to the cover, which is kind of nice. Oh, actually,
it's not separate.
No. Hey, guys, look at this. How cool is this? So you can actually take the lens. You can take it right off.
Oh.
So it's basically an elastic that attaches that goes down the strip of the foam, right? So when this gets worn, you can actually just replace it again. And it's got some sort of adhesive in here too. So
nice. So it's not going to slide up and down the tripod.
That's
it's
right.
Just gonna,
so this
that's
is great. Well, shout out to the lens coat. I'm pretty stoked to
I think
try
they may
these.
have just sold another one off to pick that up after.
Well, here, speaking of lens coat, like my 500 is all lens coat, right?
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever shot without it, you know, without showing the white. And
they make great products for sure.
Oh, they do. And I've got the lens coat rain cover too. Something like, you know, you can just toss in your pocket and go, which is really nice. So good products. I would highly recommend those. So
that's awesome.
Tripod tip. Yes, absolutely. Something to protect your hands. And I would recommend replacing the rubber feet at the bottom with the spikes.
Yes. Yeah. And some tripods, well, my video tripod actually has it's got the feet and you can actually bend it up, hit a button, pull it off. Hey, there's the spike right there. So it's nice and handy, right? So
and I don't think I've seen a quality tripod not come with the extra kit.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, or the extra
Exactly. If
feet
you're paying that much
in the
money,
kit.
you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
for
there's
sure.
always something in there with the 3 extra spikes, and they got a Allen wrench and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you
right?
may have to take the rubber off and put the other spikes on
Yeah,
or whatever, but at
that's
least they
right.
come with it. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So, what did I just say? 100%?
100%.
Oh, hang on.
Segue?
Pause. Segue. Okay, hang on. So,
Where did you go?
the other nature photo guy got me something for Christmas.
I did.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
With the logo. Can you see? Am I doing this right? Where is it? Right there? Okay, cool. But this is the
I
best.
added something on the back.
What did he put on the back?
Oh, yes. Raise it up. 100%.
100%. I guess that's my catchphrase.
You may say that a few times per episode.
That's why I said that. I caught myself. So that'll probably be the only time you hear me actually say it, because I'm so conscious of it
exactly,
now, right?
Yeah. People have messaged actually, right? So
there is a comment on one of the YouTube videos. How many times can Joe say 100%, right? So
100%
and I think
of the time.
you have a catchphrase too.
I do. Absolutely. I do. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although I didn't get myself a shirt with absolutely. Just you. You're the special one.
You may get something. Yeah, exactly.
Great,
right?
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
So guys, the next tip is condensation. And actually, let's talk about condensation first.
Okay. And
it can be obviously a huge issue, especially when you're in temperatures like we are right now, and coming into, a warm home where it's, 20 degrees, right? There could be a huge shift of 40 degrees if you really think about it.
Or more. Yeah.
Exactly. And if you know that you're not going out anytime soon, for instance, when I was in Churchill, what we did was, because we knew we were going out every day, what we'd actually do is put all our photo gear, and we kept it in the front porch locked.
Oh, okay.
Kept the batteries, or brought the batteries in to keep them warm, but kept the gear at the same temperature, same shooting temperature for all day, all night. Like, as the temperature was adjusting, so did our camera gear. Because the last thing we wanted to do was actually bring our camera gear inside and warm up, possibly create condensation if you happen to, open the bag or get access. Because ideally what you want to do is, if you're not shooting the next day, or you're home from the trip and that's it, you want to keep all your camera bag or all your gear inside the camera bag, and wait till the next day until the entire bag warms up before you go ahead and open it, to prevent condensation buildup. Because if you go from the cold and you come in and plop your camera down on the table, it's going to start. You know what I mean? It's going to start warming up. You're going to create all this condensation, and you might have issues later on. Especially with the electronics. So
but like you said, right, if you need to charge your batteries, or if you need to retrieve your files and copy them over, just make sure you grab those before you come inside, right?
That's right. Yeah, you just access all that stuff outside and bring them in, and you're good to go. So that was kind of condensation, but I think the biggest, that is a pretty huge tip. But when you're out there on the road shooting, I know, Chris, you had somebody ask about that, right?
I did. Yes. Yep. That was a question that has come up recently here. How basically you manage the cold weather and the heat inside your vehicle is what the question was, right? Yeah. That's
right. So I actually have that on my Instagram under highlights. But essentially, if you're out there, you're on the road, you're looking for wildlife, and you got these huge temperature changes, you have to dress for the cold, and you have to keep the heat off. Now, I'm not talking to the point where you can't see out the window, but if you have to have the heat on to defrost the windshield, I have my glass pointed to the floor. So basically, in the passenger seat or passenger side, I have the lens pointed to the floor, and I keep it as cold as possible down there, because the last thing you want to do is to take that camera hot to cold. Now, it's not so much condensation because the time frames are fairly short.
Yes.
But it's the fact that if you're actually shooting out, if you're going from a warm vehicle to warm to cold, that front element will start to expand and contract, and can actually cause soft images. So ideally, when you go from a warm vehicle to outside, you're hoping that you get, I don't know, what, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, to have the front element acclimate, and then you're good to go. There's no movement in the glass. So when we're doing this kind of stuff on the road and we're shooting from a vehicle, or, whatever it is, you got to keep that camera gear closed. So in that little highlight reel I have on Instagram, you can see me in my full bib plans, my jackets and everything, and I'm driving, but my camera gear, especially that front element, is staying cold. So that's one of the biggest tips I could suggest. Don't have the heat on, warming
your feet up, right? Don't have
exactly.
Don't have warming your feet because your lens is down there. I mean, there's been times that we're trying to photograph stuff and we have the windows down. I mean, we're right. So
we're staying cool. We're just,
exactly.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, now is snowy owl season, right?
Yeah.
So that's a perfect example, because you're putting a lot of miles on the road trying to find them. And when you do come up to them, you hate to have, something that's been blasting at 25 degrees Celsius inside, and then you go to something that's minus 25 degrees outside, right?
Exactly.
After a few minutes, you can get some of those extreme changes happening. Yeah.
You won't be happy with your photos. So no,
not at all.
Waste of a trip.
Not at all, so. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I guess that was the biggest one I wanted to talk about when it came to that. You know what? Let's just jump into the exposure side of things quick for a couple.
Sure. Yep.
I mean, these are not so much cold weather tips, but they're photo, snow, wintertime.
Yeah, it's all related, right? Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what would you suggest with white balance there, Chris, especially with video?
Well, video. So everything when I'm shooting video, I mean, when you're just starting out, obviously you're going to be putting it in auto white balance. But what happens is with the white and, contrast of clothing, if somebody's wearing a black jacket, you are going to see the light change on the video. So you're actually going to see the auto, it's actually going to look weird. In photography, you can, maybe correct that in post or whatever. It's on one image, but you can actually see
shooting raw.
Yeah. You can see the video transition. And it's, when you're creating professional quality video, you don't want that. So what I do, the first thing I do is I actually set my white balance to the Kelvin based on the lighting conditions at the moment I'm in. If I'm inside, if there's no windows, maybe I'm at 3200 Kelvin. If there's the outside light and inside light, and there's a mix and match, I'm maybe 4700 Kelvin. Bright sunny day, always 5600. So I'm really setting it more manually, because if this way I'm not going to see the changes happen. And therefore, if it is slightly off, if it's more yellow or more blue, I can actually just correct that one clip. So the whole clip is corrected rather than, up and down changing color of light throughout the whole video clip, right?
And I'm glad you mentioned blue, because there is that kind of cyan tint to cold weather winter shooting, right? Especially in the shadows and stuff. And the reason why I asked you about the video portion is because I think it's harder to change. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah. You just see a fluctuation of light changing visually while you're watching the clip, right? So it's not very pleasing to the eye.
And not so critical, guys, if you're shooting raw. Why usually one click of the eyedropper tool and your white balance is changed. We wanted to bring this up to you primarily for JPEG shooters, where you don't have that latitude of white balance change, I guess.
Right.
It's not as forgiving as raw, shooting in raw. So
you have a lot of flexibility with raw to recover something, right?
That's right. Yeah. So basically, that's kind of one of the things we wanted to mention, along with the biggest thing shooting in winter, white on, especially white on white, or just white in general, is underexposure. So really learn to use exposure compensation. So for instance, when I was shooting polar bears in Churchill, I don't think I had anything lower than plus 1.5.
Okay.
Sorry, what I mean by lower is like my minimum was plus 1.5.
Right. You weren't
two and
even.
a half.
You were above. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always overcompensating for light because
Right.
it's just the way the camera works. Every camera sensor is based on 18% gray. It's based on 18% tonality. So it's looking at that white snow and it wants to make it 18% gray. And again, I'm not saying the color, I'm just saying the tonality of 18%. So that's where, the exposure compensation comes in, and you're usually going to the right. So you're adding light to combat what the camera is trying to do. So you're overriding what the camera is trying to say, right?
Sure. Yes.
So when you're shooting white on white bears on white snow, that's
Polar
what I mean. I was at
snowstorm.
plus, yeah, exactly. These two little black guys. Basically, it was plus 1.5 to 2.5, right? So
Sure.
it was pretty much set like that all day. So I guess this isn't so much a cold weather tip, but we just kind of wanted to end things off with a few other shooting tips. So anything to add to that, Chris?
No, I 100% agree. I do the exact same thing. When you're an auto function of some sort, you're going to run across that for sure. Even for example, just to throw this out there for a non-nature related thing, hockey, like photographing hockey. If you're a sports photographer, the white ice, you're going to run into that cross country skiing outside. It's the same scenario. So maybe you may not be doing it on the nature side, but just keep that in mind. It's not just a nature related snow scenario, right?
That's right. So just something to keep in mind. Now, not so critical with mirrorless cameras because it's absolutely, what you see is what you get, which is really nice. So when you're looking through there and things look dark, okay, exposure comp, let's bring it up. And again, that's in those semi-manual modes. So when you're shooting aperture priority, shutter priority, manual with auto ISO, that kind of stuff, that's where exposure compensation comes in.
Yes.
If you're shooting fully manual, well, I mean, you're just adjusting one of the components, whether it's, well, that's right. And you're just opening it up to add more light.
For sure.
One last gear tip before we wrap things up here is cleats. Micro spikes, whatever you want to call them, traction devices. If you saw our last video where we're out ice fishing, we've got them on.
They were a necessity.
I never go anywhere without them anymore in the wintertime. I don't care. It's just it's peace of mind. Okay.
And they're super easy. They just, they're rubber with spikes on the bottom. They go around your boot. I mean, it actually gives you the confidence that you need to walk on ice, right? So, especially
at our age, we don't want to break a hip, right? We don't want
exactly.
To fall
You're so old that, although I'm catching you, man. So, but you're right. So,
it's just that peace of mind. That's all it is.
Well, even locally here, when there's snow falling and melting and you said 100%, I caught you.
I know. Okay, you got that. Okay.
But even on the sidewalks, right? It's nice to have whether it's not the big spikes that you and I wear, even if it's like little spikes for walking pathways.
For sure.
The confidence is just there, and you're not going to hurt yourself, right? So
for
you don't
sure.
want to be not able to shoot for 6 months. That would kind of suck. So.
Oh yeah, like night and day. So, so the last thing, guys, I really want to mention, and this isn't necessarily for winter. It's all the time, but it's staying safe and informing people. So especially in the wintertime where, hypothermia can actually creep up on you fairly quick. Yeah. You're hiking all day, you're getting warm, you're thinking, oh, great, temperatures are awesome. And then you stop, doesn't take long for your body core to start dropping. Right. So, so basically let people know where you're going, how long you're going to be, possibly have some sort of communication device like an inReach or something.
Yeah, like a satellite
I know a
device
lot of the smartphones
sort.
right now have that built-in SOS.
Yep, that's right.
Great, but make sure your battery's fully charged or carry a spare battery pack with you. I was out in the field 2 days ago, and by about noon, my phone died.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'm hitting. I'm like, why? What's going on? It was absolutely frozen. So went back to the truck, threw it on the dash, and within a couple of minutes, boom, came back up, and it was at still 70%. but
Oh,
the
good.
extreme
Yeah.
cold like that just kind of killed it right
Yeah.
away. So, I mean, that could be another tip, just
For sure.
charging device, a small little battery pack. You don't even need to get the big, like 10,000 milliamp ones, just something small enough to keep it warm, right? Just keep the charge
absolutely.
going too. So
yeah, for sure. Keep something going on. Carry a safety kit,
Absolutely.
right? Make sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, we both carry a bunch of extra gear in our vehicles. Just safety in general, a heating blanket, whatever, like a car blanket, safety kit, you name it. We've got it probably in our vehicles.
Well, and that's it. I got a black tote, and I've got a power pack that will boost my vehicle, pump up my tires, has a working light. I have booster cables. Now I have 16 footers. Okay.
Right.
And the reason being is because Chris likes to
I knew this was coming.
kill his battery. And if I don't have access to the front of his truck, at least anywhere from behind the vehicle, 16 feet will get us from battery to battery, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Which we've used a couple times before.
For sure. Yeah. Snow shovel this time of year, and some sort of traction boards or traction device, whether it's those like steel step kind of things that unravel that, go in a kit, or like the traction boards that you have.
Yeah, I have 2 traction boards. I mean, I wish we would have had them last year. I mean, we ran into some issues. I slid in the ditch, and you can check back the social media on those and see it. But Joe's Jeep actually pulled the big boy out of there.
Exactly.
But if we would have those traction boards at those times, they actually act as a shovel as well. And
that's right.
I carry them.
Would have got you out okay. Yeah. And we got toe straps. We've got avalanche shovel, a nice small shovel to breaks down. I got a wool blanket that goes inside the tote. I got spare gloves, candle. You'd be amazed at how warm you can stay with just a candle,
right,
and the wool blanket over top you.
Sure,
that will create a ton of heat for you.
One more thing, don't forget to bring food, right?
Yeah.
Always have some food there just in case you get hungry. You could be stranded out in the road for few hours before somebody could get to you, right? Even if you did have communication. Right? So you just got to make sure you're totally prepared.
I mean, you could even hit a ditch that you'd actually go out of sight.
Very true.
You just don't know. You just don't know. So take a look on Google, guys, or on YouTube or whatever it is, and create your own car kit. But this is something I carry year round. Mm-hmm. So, guys, I think we'll end the video with those tips. But we'd really appreciate if you dropped your safety tips. Your camera stay warm kind of tips.
Yes.
Your how do you stay warm? Anything like that, it'd be great to get a whole bunch of comments there that maybe we can do a revised video, and
for sure,
share those tips. Or
Joe, you're missing your number one stay warm tip. Like you use it all year round. It's coffee.
It's coffee. There's not a time that I do not. It's funny. First thing in the morning when I leave, right, to go cup, thermos, and then I'll hit Timmy's on the way out. I got the to-go cup, and I got the thermos as my backup.
Yeah, right.
So so there's my 3. Anyways, that's
there you go.
That's
That's an all round tip for you.
A couple of one birthday. Oh, this got to be about 2 or 3 years ago. A couple of friends of mine, Glenn and Jeff, got me this for my birthday. Oh, right here. What's it say?
But first, coffee.
There
Nice.
you go. Yeah, I have that up here all the time. So that's awesome. Pretty cool. I thought that was hilarious.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Well, guys, we appreciate it. We're looking forward to 2024 here. We do have a video out. Chris and I are playing out on the ice, having a good time ice fishing, and we have a couple of guests there with us. And we
do.
Yeah, we're
one
pretty
may or
stoked.
May not have had a life jacket, but
yeah, exactly.
Check it out. You'll know why.
We won't say his name, but we won't say his name.
Watch the video to see.
You have to watch to see who it is. Yeah, that was just classic. Oh my God, that was hilarious. But
just a prank,
anyway,
guys,
it was. But he actually set himself up for it by asking.
Sure. Yes.
He did. I never would have thought about it, but when he asked, It was a perfect moment to say,
you were like,
absolutely.
Yes, you do actually.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
So that was awesome. But well, guys, we appreciate you guys watching, following, subscribing. Yes, subliminal hints for you, to
click here.
And exactly. And we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Thanks for watching. Stay safe.
Thanks for joining us on the Nature Photo Guys podcast. If you have any questions, contact us at info@thenaturePhotoGuys.ca or message us on Facebook and Instagram at the Nature Photo Guys podcast. Visit YouTube and subscribe to our channel to watch all our latest videos. Or follow and listen to our latest podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on our website at thenaturePhotoGuys.ca. We'll catch you next time on the Nature Photo Guys podcast.